Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is our resident decentering doxy, Jackie Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
All right, Rachel. Let's talk
Mhm.
about drinking. You know what I'm saying?
What
What are
are
you
we
drinking?
drinking? What am I drinking today? Ooh, I drank this on our last show and I liked it so much. I'm gonna go for it again. Little hometown whiskey here, Stranahan's, and it's their Blue Peak single malt whiskey. We're nothing if not efficient here on the podcast. We paid the whiskey budget, so I'm going to keep drinking it. That is for sure. So this
If
says
it's delicious.
made in limited runs at the Stranahan Distillery. And then I just noticed this on the bottle. It is like in their glass bottle on the side, some like in the glass itself. And it says distilled, aged, and bottled by Stranahan's 200 South Calumet Street, Denver, Colorado, 80223. So
Well, you
I
could
love
mail
good
that
marketing.
bottle if you needed to. Slap a stamp on it.
I know. Put a message in a bottle in this one. What are you
I
drinking
love that.
today?
I am on this Canadian whiskey binge. Let me tell you, this little squirrel, this little guy, Revel Stoke. First of all, nut crusher. I
Uh-huh.
can't handle how perfect that is for today's topic, but this is a
Man.
Canadian whiskey. I love it so much because it has the mascot of the local college on it. So I'm going to save this bottle for my sister, but this is Revel Stoke Nut Crusher peanut butter flavored whiskey. And we all know Jackie loves her flavored whiskeys, but I'm going to drink this neat.
Neat today.
No
I
water, no ice, no mix, none of that. Neat.
I'm going the way I like to do it, over the rocks today. No fancy ice. I didn't have enough time for it to freeze properly.
I'm
So
sure it's in your fridge. I'm sure it's in there freezing as we speak.
you damn Jackie, you sure do know me. It'll be ready for the next show.
I
Sorry.
feel like I need to get new ice molds, to be honest with you, because I've been repeating like the big squares and the roses and the diamonds. So I am on the hunt for ice molds, like new molds for us. And like honestly, I feel like it's probably time for us to just come out with our own cauldron ice molds. So I know. So people need to just watch out for our upcoming ice mold release, quite frankly, because I know it's going to happen at some point.
If
But
anyone's
you know what
listening
I
to
did
the
too is I've got my little tiny spell bottle of
I
fancy
know.
sprinkles.
Fancy sprinkles. I was like, if anyone listened to the last show, they know Rachel's got a lot of time on her hands and she has a business mind to be put to work. So let me tell you. But yes, I too have my fancy sprinkles prism powder, and I'm gonna stick with it was so beautiful last show. Moonstone iridescent. So we love
Oh,
it.
I love, look at how beautiful the packaging is. And it comes in that with the pour spout
Little
that
pour
Moonstone
spout.
was.
Mhm.
I think this is Moonstone, but if it's not, it's definitely the sterling silver luster powder.
If it turns
Yeah.
pink it turns like an iridescent pink in the glass, then it's moonstone. If it stays silver, then it's
Oh,
silver.
then it's
You
it's
know.
the luster powder. Look at this.
Oh, look at you.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Look at you.
look at
Yes, it's
you.
gorgeous.
Down the
Well, you know
hatch.
what, Clinkies?
Clinkies.
Mm.
Mm. Thank you, Stranahan's. I
And
appreciate
Rebel
it.
Stoke.
Rebel
This
Stoke.
is so good. I drink it neat, no ice, no mix. I can sip it all night long and I feel fine the next day. So that's nice. Little double shot of whiskey. I think I'll take my whiskey. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Hosier, for the
I know
God
the
that
love of
you
our
are.
lives.
Yes.
We
Anyway,
love him. We do love him so much.
on the Venn diagram of the men Jackie go for and the men I go for, the only thing that is overlapping is Hosier. Well,
That
Andrew
is
Byrne Hosier.
so
It's true.
that is so accurate. We literally call him our boyfriend.
Yes.
He is he is such a beautiful man. Just God's gift.
Yes, just a cherub of a man.
A cherub. I
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
Love in his tweed suit,
Oh, I
barefoot
swear to
on
God,
stage.
if he was gonna take that suit jacket off, I would have died.
I didn't understand until I was there, but holy crap, cow, I would have as well.
Yeah, well, what a great intro to today's topic. We can
uh
appreciate from afar, but and only the good men like
yep,
Hosier. But
yeah,
anyways,
yeah,
today's topic is a very good one. I think it links back to a couple weeks ago. We did a 4B movement, explaining what that was, how it's kind of affecting our lives. This is also a little follow-up to that. So we are going to be
yeah,
talking about the ongoing situation in at least one of our lives,
yeah,
decentering men. So how's
yeah,
it going, decentering men? How do we feel about it? And how it kind of moves forward in our lives and our as women in our 40s. We've
yeah,
like seen some stuff and we're like, what's going to work for us? What's not going to not? So
yeah.
you're drinking your nut crusher. Um, so Jackie, jump into it. Like, I am in a committed relationship personally, but you are a single lady.
Yeah.
So are you actively doing 4B? Are you just kind of taking a moment to decenter men? Where are you in your life in this like spectrum of it?
Yeah. So when we did the 4B episode, I felt like I might have been in a relationship that ended very quickly after that. As far as like my wanting to pursue that relationship
Mm-hmm.
ended very quickly after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
You stopped putting energy in, and then
right,
so that is
right.
matching
So
energy,
that's
and
the
then it
thing.
wasn't it.
Right. That's actually the thing. That's the catalyst of me just decentering men as a whole, because I had realized that I had been basically raised by a boomer. Both my parents are boomers.
Mhm.
So I really genuinely thought that like marriage, children, that's it. Marriage clearly didn't work out with me for me after three
Mhm.
marriages, but there was something like in my subconscious that has me like keeping going with the hope that I'm just going to find a man to settle down with. And I really had to take a hard look at what my behaviors were that were attracting the type of men that were coming into my life. And while I don't know that I'm 100% on the 4B bus, if
Mhm.
you will,
Yeah.
um, but I am in at a point in my life where it is not as important to me at all to present myself in a public space for men. It is not important for me to do things to attract men. It I have I've been traveling, as our listeners and and that has really changed my mindset on what I find important in my life. And I think that is such a huge evolution in how I'm living my life,
Mhm.
genuinely.
Mhm.
So the first thing I did was I was not wearing a ton of makeup when
Mhm.
I was on my trip, and I come back. I'm wearing makeup now because we're filming, but like honestly, I think I might have put makeup on for you
Yeah.
instead of like people. Like I put on makeup for my girls now, I feel like I want like girls to like comment on my makeup. Whereas before, I definitely was putting on makeup because I felt this deeply rooted need to be impressive to men. Like I don't want to go out with my dark eye circles and textured skin. I can't let them see me ugly.
Mhm.
That was like
And I
that
don't
was
know. Maybe
and
this
that
leads
actually might still
into
be a big thing that I am still working on.
mhm.
What were you saying?
Um, pretty privileges. pretty privilege
Yeah.
and what it gets us in this world. Like me too, is very much like I feel scrappy at best when I'm not done up. But I love looking like this. I would rather
Yeah.
look like this all the time than not, you
Mhm.
know. And to me, in my mind, some people are like, it's not that big of a contrast. To me, it's a huge contrast. And I'm like, I would rather be at my 10 all the time. But it's also like just in a patriarchal society as pretty privilege in general, you know. But when people
Mhm.
are like, "Oh my God, you look so pretty," I was like, "Thank you so much. I've really put a lot of work into it. Thank you." You know?
Yeah, but it's when girls say it that I like really love it. Like, oh my God, when a girl compliments me and she's like gorgeous, I'm just like,
Oh my God. When girl
oh,
compliments your outfit, or when people are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do a cat eye. I wish I could do a cat eye." And I was
I can't.
like I
I'm obsessed.
thousands of hours and years of technique work
Years,
to work on this like cat eye.
y-
Mhm.
years of
Years.
perfecting a cat eye
Yeah.
to get
And
it
when
this
someone
sharp.
appreciates it, I'm like, thank you so much. You
Yeah,
have no idea what that means
yeah,
to me. It's a skill a
exactly.
lot of people wish they
Exactly.
had. And I was like, yes,
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
yeah. But
But,
I think I initially developed it like we're children of the 90s.
mhm.
You remember what those magazines did to us. We
Yep.
really feel, and it's so crazy because when I was looking at those magazines, I sort of had this awareness that that's what they were doing. Like, yeah, they're clearly putting these skinny girls in front of our faces because, and, you know, uh, calling Jessica
I
Simpson
was
fat when she was wearing those
just thinking that
high-waisted
exact thing.
right? She literally is the same shape that I am right now. I want to die for her. How dare you? So
And
I
like
know
America's
that
Next Top
I
Model, and they're like, oh, she's plus size. I'm like, I'm sorry, she's like a 6, maybe an 8. I don't even know if they could let anyone
literally,
on that show. And so you're right. It's like these like they're not saying outright that this is bad, but we are subconsciously absorbing these things of like, this is what it means
yes.
to be good. This is
Yeah.
what it means to be accepted. And it's a lot
Yeah.
of it is through the male gaze, you
Yeah.
know, of
It's
like,
so hard.
mhm.
I've kind of done I feel like I have performed a lot of behaviors for the male gaze.
Mhm.
I feel like I did my makeup a certain way. I dressed a certain way. I I very much was hyper aware of the male gaze, and it's because when I was being brought up, I had older women tell me like you need to dress your best, put on your makeup. What if you meet the man of your dreams every single time? What if you meet the man? You need to be dressed to impress. And you said earlier um that other people didn't notice when you were like putting on more makeup, things, something along those lines, right?
Mhm.
Just a minute ago you said
Mhm.
something along those lines. And but the thing is that I have purposely gone to work like when I had to go when I was a librarian for years ago.
Mhm.
I went to work purposely without wearing makeup, knowing that they would send me home if I told them I didn't feel good because of the way I looked, right?
Yeah, like when you don't wear
So,
makeup, people are like, "Are you okay?" You're like, "This is
are
just
you
my
okay?
face." My mom
Th-
even asked me one time, she was like, "What's wrong with your face?" And I was like, "I just have a lot of freckles, mom. Sorry, the full
it
coverage
was a
foundation covers it up."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and my boss at the time was a boomer woman
Mhm.
who was like, "You don't look good." And it's because like when I don't have my makeup on, I have naturally dark circles under my eyes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I have textured skin. So if I don't wear makeup, they automatically assumed I was sick. I now attend meetings, company-wide meetings, no makeup. I don't care. I don't care.
Mhm. And do you feel
So,
that comes from just more self-acceptance in our 40s? Or is that, or does it also sound like, to me, it almost sounds like you're going through your own deconstruction journey itself? Because when we talk about 4B, it's not necessarily you have to do this like hardcore, hard cut, like all of them are out.
Yeah.
Like one, you can pick and choose on what works best for you, but it's also like in your own journey, you're like, okay, what does work for me? What doesn't work for me? Like, do I dress for myself? Am I doing this because I like it? Or is it because society tells me I should like it? Or is it because, for someone else, So it's more of like,
You
it
know,
sounds like you're in the middle of your own deconstruction of it.
yeah, you're not wrong. I feel like I'm right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
For all the girlies who are also right in the middle, I
Mm-hmm.
am right in the middle. I am not only deconstructing my own beliefs that were pressed upon me by boomers about the way I need to have my appearance, but I'm also in the middle of my deconstruction of making my appearance appealing to men.
And also, I want to touch on something that you said, that a lot of the older women in your life were like, you need a man, you need a relationship. Did they ever touch on the quality of that relationship and to teach you
Never.
what it meant to choose a good man or just to have a man? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you went and did the right, quote unquote, right thing for them, but no one set you up for success to be like, I, what in that relationship is good. I have heard about Dell and Diane. I mean, I don't know. It's like maybe they have their own relationship, but I'm like, were they the best example of greatness in a marriage?
No,
You know, and
no.
so like everyone's parents, everyone has a relationship. It's totally fine. We're not asking for perfection here, but it's also like, oh, go out and get a relationship. But it's like, okay, well, where is the language? Where is the learning to how to be in a relationship?
So you touched, that's a great point because you touched on earlier the pretty privilege. So one of the things that was always said to me was because I am so beautiful, I should be able to find and marry a rich man.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish so badly that I had heard Cher say, but mama, I am a rich man much earlier in my life
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not here to find and marry a man. Like that is so now that I say it out loud and I remember being told this. I remember specifically my grandmother on my dad's mom,
Mm-hmm.
Dell's mom, saying to me, "You are so beautiful. You're going to be able to find a rich man to take care of you. You'll never have to worry."
Well,
Right.
again,
And
back
so,
into our
and
trad
because
wife.
that's what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. Because that's what she did. That's what she kind of impressed upon me. Like, thank God you're pretty because
Mm-hmm.
then you can find a rich man to take care of you. And, like, quite frankly, grandmother, I am a rich man. Like, I wish so badly I had heard Cher say that earlier in life because it made such a very distinct impression on me that I think that that subconsciously affected how I center men in my life. And so I think that my active decentering has really become very aware of what I am doing to try to impress men, attract men. And another thing that I have done besides trying to be pretty when I am outside because girlfriend, I did makeup today to come see you.
Mm-hmm.
I worked out. I went out in town. I don't give a shit. I don't wear makeup unless I'm literally on a a virtual date with my bestie here to
Mm-hmm.
film the pod or
Yeah.
if I'm going to go see my girlfriends. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get dressed up for men anymore. The next thing that I have done because I am single, this is the longest period of my life that I have ever actually been single. I'm sort of leaning into it and enjoying it to the point where I'm like, I'm not even on the apps anymore. None of the apps. I have no apps, Rachel. None.
That is surprising, and I'm very
No
proud of
apps.
you. You must be very proud of yourself.
Every day.
Mhm.
Every day I think about it. Do I get on the apps?
Because how
It
much
is
of
active decentering.
yeah, and how much did your internal validation come from external sources like men
A lot.
from those
I would
apps?
say 70% of my external validation came from the male gaze. And I think it has a lot to do with an old lady telling me that I'm pretty and I can get a rich husband because I'm pretty.
Yeah, but the
Ew,
thing
ew,
is, no
ew,
one told
ew.
us, hey, you can go be rich yourself. It's like
No, no.
what was very much told to me, it was like you can dream big, but not too big. Like you can be a senator's wife, but maybe not a senator, you know? So it was just like you could go be a kingmaker, but no one says
Yes,
to just go be a queen, you know?
no.
Like,
Here's the thing.
yeah.
I do want to give Diane credit because she absolutely just was a queen.
Yeah.
She just was one. She
Mhm.
never explained to us how to just be that. And I think it's because she had her own subconscious belief that she had to be married because she's like a Catholic from the 50s, right?
And
You can't get
that's
divorced
that's the
according
world
to her mindset,
that's what she was taught
right?
growing up as well, you know.
Exactly. But in her own right, she almost ignored the male gaze and became a queen herself. So she's got multiple retirements, paychecks coming in, and she can travel whenever she wants. And so did she give me the example of what I can do for myself? Yes. But she also gave me the example of I also have to be married and not divorced. So, and I think that had a real huge effect on my subconscious when it comes to like decentering men. And it is a very active process that you have to be hyper aware of when you are decentering men and the male gaze. And I want to emphasize, and the male gaze, not the gaze,
Hmm.
but the gaze.
Gaze, gaze.
The visual gaze of men,
Mhm.
like it is so difficult. It is challenging. It is
Because you are
uprooting.
you're rewiring your brain from 30
Yes,
plus years, 35 years, even maybe as a young child, we knew this. We know this as young girls. That it's
yes,
like of all nearly 40 years of brain rewiring. This is not going to happen overnight, Jackie. I just really want to let you know. Like,
oh I
if
know.
it's hard for a reason because we are going against decades, decades of
Yes,
conditioning and brain wiring of this is how it should be.
you've touched on such an important point. It is actually decades of me being wired to try and scoop a husband. Like, I was a wife for a very long time. I know how to immediately fall into the wife mindset, but I actually have to, on a daily, sometimes hourly basis, tell myself I don't have to be somebody's wife. And
Mm.
that is extremely, extremely hard. That is so hard to do. I do not have to be somebody's wife. I do not have to be somebody's girlfriend. I do not have to attract any kind of male suitors. That is not something that I am put on this planet to do. And so it is something that I actually have to constantly remind myself to be aware of. And that is insanely hard, Rachel. It is so hard. I've done a lot of hard things in my life, but this is probably the hardest for sure.
I'm glad you
Like
admitted that. you know,
for
like
the
it's hard.
yeah, the mental strength and fortitude it takes to deconstruct from this mindset is extremely, extremely hard because, like, as soon as you start it, it's almost like, and you said this earlier, it's almost the universe is like, are you sure? Are
Yeah,
you sure you want to
because
do that?
when you say, "Oh, I'm decentering man," I'm like, there are two dudes in your DMs right now.
Yeah.
It's like the universe is like, okay, I'm just checking that you mean it.
Yeah.
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 And what are you
Good.
telling those men?
Well, they're good men.
Mm-hmm.
They are good. They are, one of them comes from our hometown. The other one is from here.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I have been able to communicate with them, they are genuinely good men. And I have very much told them, I am only a wife. I do not date. I am not here to um satisfy your gaze. I am not here to date, be a girlfriend. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. And not only do I not want that, but I am not sexually active right now. Like, I know that we shared. Here's the thing about this whole like path that I feel like we've been on. When we shared our sex episode, I
Mm-hmm.
was very much in my like phase of like, I don't give a fuck. And don't get me wrong, I still love an orgy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still into it. I still support it. Good for you guys. Just keep going. Have yourself those orgasms. But I am at a point in my life, I think, where I don't even care to have sex
Mm-hmm.
at all. I
Mm-hmm.
think that it is at this point boring to me. One of the reasons why I'm not on the dating apps is because it seems like a lot of the dating apps has to do with like instant satisfaction and like one night stands. And I've never, ever, anyone on the dating apps been satisfied by any of these assholes giving me one night stands and then not giving a shit about me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've moved into this place and I want to like impress upon people like your mindset is evolutionary and
Mm-hmm.
it comes with your experience. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sort of evolving into this mindset where I don't have any desire whatsoever to get on those apps and be one night standy and like give somebody else their own satisfaction while not focusing on my own satisfaction. So I've been like staying home a
Mm-hmm.
lot more. I've taken up, we both know that we love a good diamond dot, a good puzzle
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
drink. And we just FaceTime each other and we are satisfied with that. And I have not been going out. Like I know that I've been traveling and I went out with my sister, but it wasn't really like a priority to go out on a Friday or a Saturday to anywhere and meet anybody.
And I think when we talk about changing your mind, if I may, just for a moment, it's like, to me, my true healing came when it came from within. It's like
Yeah.
someone can always tell you, like, this is the way, or what have you, or like this is their experience. But it was like when I came to those conclusions on my own, it was like, okay. Like I always say, I am a whole and complete person. I am not half
Yeah.
of anything. I am not half of a couple. And a part of me is not missing. Like there's
No.
people add to my life, but without them, my life is still complete. My soul is still complete. There is not a part of me that is missing, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like
I
understanding that I'm not missing anything by being quote unquote alone or single. We come into this world as a single person, unless you're a twin, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, you come into this person, I am complete at birth, like as like I am a whole human at birth, you know.
I I realized that like I bring my own table and chairs and full meal to the
Yeah.
table. Like I at some point somebody told me that my standards were too high because I asked if somebody had a 401k and real estate credits because I have a 401k and real estate credit. Like it's it's not, I'm not asking for too much. It's that I have the table. Like, don't ask me what I bring to the table. I have a table, I have chairs, I have the full hot steaming meal and a sexy ass woman, me,
Mhm.
serving it. So
Mhm.
if you only have a table, fuck off. I I am tired of trying to placate to that gaze. I'm also very aware that you attract the type of people you want with your own energy. So I knew that this kind of deconstruction, this decentering men had to happen in order to maybe one day attract the type of partner I want. And I want to emphasize whether that be man or woman, because I am very open to either.
Mhm.
So I knew that I had to decenter this male gaze because it absolutely did not make me feel good. It didn't. And
Mhm.
so if I have a man or a woman in my life next, I need to ensure that I am whole and complete, like you said, all on my own. So another thing that I've been doing is but when I stop, because I've stopped going out on Friday and Saturday nights, is that I've really stopped talking to people I don't give a fuck about. Because when I go out on Friday and Saturday nights, I was giving a shit about the male gaze and talking to people that I didn't even want to talk to, Rachel.
Isn't that awful? Like in your mind when you're just like, I don't even want to be doing this, but I don't know how to not do it.
Stop. Yes. It's so hard. It's so hard because I've been doing it for so long.
Mhm.
It is something that I know that I've said that this multiple times in this show, but like I feel like I am actively in the moment catching myself and then deconstructing actively.
And I always call this when you learn a new skill or it feels icky. It feels icky because you don't know how to do it, you
I
know?
am not good at
You're like, I
this.
don't know what to do. How do I keep myself occupied? I'm like, it feels icky until it becomes a skill. And then you're like, I
Yeah.
got it, you
Yeah.
know, until
Yeah.
that like switch flips, where you're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like as of right now, as of today, the switch is flipping.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing I've done is that because you mentioned earlier, there's people in my DMs actively pursuing me, making the universe. It does feel like the universe is like, are you sure?
Put
Are
your
you
money where your
sure?
mouth is.
Are you sure? Because like definitely my type, definitely somebody I would want to talk to. I have made very clear that they are not going to be sleeping with me.
Mm-hmm.
They are not. I am a prize. I am a, like, men are not the prize. I am the prize. I am something to be cherished. I have made very, very clear that I am not someone's masturbator.
Yes.
We will not be going into this situation without feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We I will have feelings for you before you ever get fucking close. And you got to do, and I've made very clear as well, you got to do the work to get to that point. I am not going to just give it to you because you have like made me feel like I'm I have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to feel like I have to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's like the big thing is that like I don't ever want to feel like I have to.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about having men like centered in my life that made me feel like if I don't, they're not going to like me.
Or
Does that make
on a trip you went on, you're like, oh, I feel like we kind of have to because he took me on this trip, Not that, I mean, he was high, of course he wanted to, but it was just more of
Yeah.
like, that was the price to have it, And so it's, I would, whether someone wants to decenter men or do 4B or whatever it is, I would just say like, have your standards to be like, listen, I'm not going to do anything with you before 3 months. Or, like there are no sleepovers, there are no this.
Yeah.
To me, I'm just like the serial monogamous. Like it'd be like,
Yeah.
if I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to anybody else.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to be in this rotation. Like to me, and again, growing up in the church, I don't hate that this is a part of me. Like, and again, I've never had a one night stand just because I was like you said, I don't want to have someone else use my body to masturbate because they are not,
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about my pleasure. It's about just like having something. But it's like what I struggled with when the dating world would be like, I need to feel special. Like Rachel has an overinflated sense of self, or it's right where it should be, and I have to get used to feeling that
Yeah.
way. Of like,
Yeah.
absolutely it is. But it's just like, yeah, I need to feel special. I need to not feel like, okay, just next. Like, no, so it's just like when I think when before I got married, I made him wait like 6 weeks and they're like, no wonder he married you, But it was
Yeah.
just very much like, I need to be sure about this person. Like, again, I just want to make sure you're not a dopamine dump, in
Yeah.
my brain,
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's
is it real? Is
yeah.
the question of it,
Yeah. And it seems like something that should have been inherent from the beginning, but because I have been only married,
Mm-hmm.
I never had that opportunity to take on that mindset. And now I do.
Yeah.
And not everybody's timeline is the same as mine. So I am just now taking on that timeline. I and like I said earlier, like I love a good orgy. But I don't really like lately
Mm-hmm.
feel very sexual. I don't know if it's because it's been a few months for me. Like I knew that I was getting to a point where I was like, okay, if I don't stop that behavior, I'll never stop this behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't stop the over sexualized uh activities, I guess is what we'll call them. Like I was very you know me,
Mm-hmm.
our regular listeners know I was very sexually hypersexual,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. I because I came to the decision that I needed to deconstruct the male gaze, decenter men as a whole. I
Mm-hmm.
knew I needed to step away from that type of activity. And ever since I have, I, like it feels like quitting alcohol.
You feel
It
so good on the
feels like
inside.
I feel like, this is this is actually deliciousness in this body. And so if you would like some of this, you're gonna have to do the work.
Earn
You're
it.
gonna have to do, yes, you're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna have to really like work really, really hard. And I don't feel like I don't have like the desire the way I used to almost.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a desire to do so many other things that it's almost overtaken that crazy sexualization that I was experiencing. Again, love that scene Don't get me wrong, totally fine, never judging. It's just not who I am right now, or maybe anymore. Maybe I'm just at a point where I'm just like, yeah, that was fun. And now I'd like to just focus on myself, focus on my mental health, and grow.
Yeah, I think when I was first coming out of my marriage, it was more of just like, oh, I am a catch, I know it. But it was really, for me, it was like, what can I do for a man?
Yeah.
So I was the one chasing. But now it's like, you take a moment and you're like, does this suit me or not? And then it's like, huh, okay, I don't have to run after them anymore. It's like, if you want it, you come get it
Yeah.
because I'm not
That's,
going to, especially it was just like I needed, after feeling like I was thrown away, just to be like, just to feel loved by someone that you're like, but
yes.
yeah, okay, this person is giving me attention. I'm like, do I even want their love? Or do they even person I truly want to be with? Or is it just something that I'm like, I need to accept right now? Which is like, and again, the only way to healing is to go through it, So
Yeah.
it's
And it's
like, it's
hard.
okay if it feels icky. It is okay. But I really appreciate that you are sharing the fact that you're like, I struggle with this because again, you've been doing this for 4 months versus 40 years.
Yeah.
It's
It's
gonna take
so hard.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's something that it really is, like, Rachel, it is a, and I don't think I've expressed this to you. It is a daily struggle
Mhm.
for me to be aware of what I'm doing for the male gaze. Like, another thing is like what I wear to work out. Am I wearing that for men to notice me and talk to me? Or am I wearing that because I'm just hot and sweaty? I've changed what I'm wearing
Mhm.
because I know that before, like, I, before when I was just wearing like things that were a little bit more revealing, I knew I was doing it for the male gaze. Do I still wear things that can sometimes be revealing? Yeah, but more, I'm dressing more for comfortability now. You know
And
what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not doing my hair to go to the gym. I'm not doing my makeup to go to the gym. Although, let me be very clear, I love the girls that do their hair and makeup to go
yeah,
to the gym.
and
They are
I
so cute, but it's just not me.
and
And
I
I need
think
to
it's
like make sure that I do not do that purposefully.
and I think it's more of like where your mindset is. Like you could
Yeah.
it says the same outfit, but you're like, "Oh, am I wearing this because I love it or do am I wearing it because of the attention I get when I
Yes.
wear it?" So like to me,
Good
it could be
point.
the same outfit, but where is my mind? My makeup is still the same, but where is my mindset
Right.
when I
Good
wear those
good
things, when
point.
I do my makeup? Where is your mindset? You're like, I want to look cute at the gym because I like looking cute at the gym. Yes, you're doing it for the
Yes.
girls or for yourself. I'm saying do whatever you want to do. Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
That's that's something that's been some I've had to like take a minute to be very conscientious of that specific scenario when I like get ready to walk out. I kind of am like, am I comfortable? I ask myself if I am comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
which is new. Because
Ooh.
before I would go to the gym uncomfy if I looked super sexy and sultry, then that's a different story. I just go to the gym like that. But now I'm like, am I comfy? Is this something that I'm going to be good wearing while doing my full workout? It again is an active process that you have to be hyper aware of when you do these little things. They are little micro actions,
Mhm.
Rachel, that I have started to notice. And it's almost like the more I notice the micro actions, the more I notice the larger actions of what I'm doing. So I definitely see the benefit of actively deconstructing um and decentering men, deconstructing my importance on the male gaze, and just like focusing on what things really bring me happiness and joy, and understanding how making those little changes and being brave even when they scare me. Because,
Mhm.
like, let me tell you, when I first wore no makeup to Walmart, scary, scary.
'Cause you have to get comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah,
And when
yeah,
I had when I went back to school, I made a conscious effort to like not wear any makeup for 30 days because it was my armor,
that's
my
yeah,
shield.
yeah,
And to get comfortable in my own skin, and that felt really icky and it was very hard. And so now, but it's like now that I get comfortable in my own skin and like how my face looks normally and my freckles and like,
when I
you
wake
know,
up.
yeah, and so then it's like it's okay. Like now I feel very comfortable to then this is how I am world. But when I put like a
Yeah,
full glam on, I'm like, I still got it, but it's like a treat when I do put in the full glam. But I want to touch on something you had just said of like now you have when you now that you're decentering men, you're like, oh, I'm noticing the little things that then turn into the big things. It's like it's almost like you have more mental space to think about other things and to learn and to grow because your mind
yeah,
isn't focused on this other thing. It's making
yeah,
new synapse connections, but it's also like you have more space to let your mind wander for new other things because
that's
you're not so
exactly what it feels like.
preoccupied elsewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. I have no preoccupation on finding whatever man to like rescue me, quote unquote, from whatever situation I'm in, because I know that that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And that has been something that I have had to work on very vigilantly, is understanding that that is not a thing that is going to happen. And the longer that I look for somebody to do that, the more it's going to hurt me in the long run,
Mhm.
which is very evident. It's evidenced in my life choices, quite frankly. So, decentering men has taught me very much, like, I've learned a very clear lesson. It is that I bring my own joy and happiness, and I actually don't have to find it outside of myself. And while this is a very hard path to walk, as I getting chills,
I'm getting
right?
chills from what you just said.
As I walk it, it becomes so much more apparent in my life, and I feel so powerful.
Oh
Yeah.
man, like that is so good because here's what I've noticed. It's like they're like, "Oh yeah, marry a rich man, that's fine." You're like, if someone else gives it to you, they can take it away. You know,
Yeah.
like what you give yourself, no one else can take away from it but you.
Yeah.
Like my life is full and complete because I make it full and complete. Like
Exactly.
no one can come into my apartment and say, "Well, I gave it to you. I don't want you to have that anymore." Nope. It's my apartment. It's my couch. It's my beautiful place. No one
It's
can
my
say,
life.
I don't like those sequin curtains behind you. I was like, well, they're mine and I bought them and you can't take them away from me,
Yeah.
you know?
That's that's exactly how it's felt going through these motions almost lately. I'm still actively in it.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I'm still actively in the decentering. I'm still actively realizing the small motions, the small activities, the small actions that I've been doing that do center men, but it has been eye-opening in the journey. And
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend it for any woman who has felt like they've had to give their life over to men and their gaze and their needs, because it's just not the case. Like, you have your own path. Like, literally walk it and you'll see the purpose that you have on this planet by
Mm-hmm.
walking your own path and decentering external gazes in general.
Yeah. Make yourself happy. And then at that point, like other people can then make you happy because you're like, I love me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say you're a whole and complete person. There's not a part of you that's missing. Like
Yeah.
other people can add to your life, but not having someone isn't what's gonna they can't take away anything if I'm complete,
Yeah.
you
And I've
know?
had to really like learn. And there's so many of, I know that if I'm learning, hey, I'm a whole and complete person. Being a mom isn't my personality. Being
Mhm.
a wife is not my personality. Being Jaki is my personality. Being Jaki is my path. And
Mhm.
how Jaki presents her energy and gives to other people, that's what makes me a whole and complete person.
Yeah.
Not what I can do for other people as a mom or a wife or whatever.
Mhm.
That's not what it does for, that's not what makes me whole and complete. Who I am, who I was born to be is just Jaki.
It's
And
already
that's
in
like,
you.
yeah, it really is. And deconstructing, decentering is something that I have had to absolutely do consciously in order to discover exactly who she is. Ugh, I've just
Ugh.
learned so many lessons in the past couple of months. Like just 3, 4 months of doing this has been very eye-opening. Very.
And if any of the takeaway, get a hobby at home. You're gonna need it at the beginning.
You really are. Start puzzles, diamond
Puzzles.
dotting,
Mhm.
paint by numbers. Oh, I love a paint by number.
Oh yeah. Just a
Something
hobby.
that something that hasn't, don't try to do it on your own. Here's my advice. Don't try to do it on your own by just, you know what I'm saying? Like the puzzle, it gives you a direction. The
Mhm.
diamond dot, it gives you a direction. The paint
Patterns.
by number, it gives you a direction. And it
Mhm.
allows you to sort of shut your brain off
Mhm.
and get into this space where you can actually think about your actions subconsciously, and it will allow you to focus on the types of changes that you need to make in your life. And ever since I started doing those like little like art projects, all three of those things that I have mentioned, I feel like I have um gained a new, almost like a new perspective, because I've been able to sort of meditate while I'm doing those things and realize what's important in my life and just focus on that growth and moving forward. So do it.
I love it.
It's
I love it.
the mods and crafts.
Get some arts and crafts. In the meantime, as you learn. Oh, Jackie, that is excellent. I see you shuffling those cards. So I believe that concludes the whiskey bent portion and on to the spellbounding.
You know, and
Spirit has been blessing us lately.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
lately Spirit really has been talking to us. I've been shuffling these cards for quite some time, and
Mm-hmm.
I pulled myself my own little, well, I didn't pull them. They just jumped into my lap and I looked down and they were there. So I'm going to do the 3 card pull like I did in
Mm-hmm.
our last one, and then I'll talk about what jumped out um for us, or me, people,
The
all of the
message that
ladies.
Spirit wants us to hear.
Yeah, it just feels like Spirit really has been letting us know what's going on, and where we need to focus. So first and foremost, let me pull up my, okay, these are swords.
The Nine of
Swords
Swords.
for some, yes, swords for some reason give me like the exact meaning of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They give me a little bit of like trepidation. That's like the word that I want to describe swords. Like here's where I think that feeling comes from, because they're sharp,
Mm.
right? They hurt people.
I
But
think it's how they're wielded.
the, right,
It
but
could be a tool or it could be a weapon.
they can be double-edged,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the Nine of Swords has a lot to do with anxiety. The Nine of Swords represents somebody that feels a little bit trapped by their own negative thoughts.
Spirit, you don't have to yell at us that loud.
Jesus fucking Christ, calm it down. You
Calm
know
it
what
down,
I'm
Spirit.
saying?
I'm listening.
Calm
We
it,
hear you.
calm it down. I get it. I'm fine. I'm fine. The next one is spheres. So let's see what that one is. Oh, God. Suit of spheres. I remember. Ugh. This is the Queen of Spheres, and it says, get your life together.
Oh my God. We're getting yelled at today.
Rachel, we're getting
Get
yelled at.
your life together, girl.
Get your life together. It basically is like, okay, a woman, this is what the description says. It's a woman with intricate energy flowing through her head into the darkness above, and it meditates on the sphere approaching her. But like, it feels very much like a description of me. Like, I meditate and I feel like I'm in darkness, and I just feel like I'm being told constantly, like, get it together, get it together, get it together, get it together. Like, pretty much every time uh I meditate. And then fi- finally we have the ever present harbinger of change, the death card.
Wow. I don't even think we've
The
ever
death
seen that one
card
before.
has to do with the end of cycles and brand new beginnings, change, cycles coming to a close, radical transformations. It's like you've sacrificed a part of yourself to go through the transformation to become who you really want to be. So again, I'm getting yelled at as fuck. I'm going through a radical transformation. I am clearly and hyper aware of what this transformation means to me. And so, like, the death card really makes a ton of sense, considering I really am ending a subconscious cycle of my own behaviors, in that I am decentering the male gaze and men as a whole.
Yeah.
So definitely an end of cycle. I love that I got this card. It's like, yes, you're ending a cycle. You are doing the right thing. Kind of keep going. So while we were talking,
We have
I
bonus
had,
cards today.
yeah, we did have a bunch of bonus cards in the last episode that we filmed. I also got bonus cards. I got the Chariot, which has to do with direction, control, and willpower. Because it takes so much willpower for somebody who has been ingrained in the making the male gaze a priority, centering men a priority. It does take a ton of direction and willpower. So it's like, I was talking about it, and this card really just tells me, like, no, you are going in the right direction to ensure that you are breaking whatever this habit is. And like, it is taking a ton of willpower, Rachel. You know me very, very well. This is a lot of willpower and a lot of work, and I am trying to stay very conscious of it on a regular basis, and it is fucking bullshit. It is a bullshit to me because I just want to relax, but I can't. And that brings me to my final card that pulled while I was talking, and that is the Page of Swords. And that has a lot to do with curiosity, restlessness, and deep breaths. Mental energy. Like, because the mental energy this is actually taking is pretty fucking ridiculous. I understand that this is why this kind of jumped out at me. The Page of Swords represents someone embarking on a new idea or mental adventure slash path.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different from something that they've ever did before. And the Page of Swords is like, I got this. I got this. I got my weapon. I'm ready to go. And like, I'm clear of what I want. And it just has a lot to do with like focusing on the new path. And I understand why Spirit gave me this today for those reasons. Anyways, we have both gotten yelled at by Spirit tonight, I feel like, because we did film 2 episodes today, in case people are wondering what we keep talking about. We did film two episodes today. You got yelled at, and then I got yelled at. We are on the right path.
Yes.
It is something that we have learned a lot of lessons in life, and these small changes and these things that we're doing, I think we have the right mental state to take them on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that that's really what Spirit's conveying. Like, yeah,
To step into the
you're.
next version of yourself, each in our
Thank
own
you.
way and our challenges, but to be like, we're right. Oh yeah, we're going to give you challenges to step into the next version of yourselves. Like, you guys, we're elevating in real time.
You're seeing it
Yes, it's happening right now.
right now. It is happening to us. We are elevating. Big things are happening. I hope everybody takes a step back, looks at their life, looks at what they can do to just be a part and realize that you already are a part of it.
Mm-hmm. It's happening
You're
for
in.
you. It's not happening to you.
It is all so exciting. And I can't wait to see where we end up. July 2025. I'm so excited.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
ready for it.
Watch. We're going to, okay, we keep talking about our December 2024 selves, and it's like, ooh, okay. What's going to happen in July 2025?
Anything.
Anything. Anything could happen. But until then, thank you everyone once again for listening to such an amazing, fantastic, and fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent and
Spellbound with Black.
Whitefield.
Love
Love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.